What's happening, folks? Hope the sun is shining wherever you are, if not on the outside, then on the inside. Oh, yes. Listen, twice as good. W fun, W pleasure, all that good stuff with my assistant off to my left. You're right. Oh, man, how you feeling this morning? How you doing?
Man, it's a great day, man. It's a great day. Always a great day when I can spend some time with mi hermano.
Hey, gracias. You go ahead, say it. I know you want to say it. Go ahead. It's been a long time.
I know. Stanley, David, Manuel Noriega, Jose Rodriguez, Ramirez, Pearson, Segundo.
I love it, man. I love it. You're great to have you here. Keep us light and tight. Really excited. So the only way to get paid to speak,
The only way.
I feel like there's been some rumbling, some momentum, and some real intentionality about what it takes to get paid to speak. So I want you to hop right in, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing, and this is something that we all know and we kind of realize it, but you and I have talked about it in a variety of ways, and in our speeches we talk about it, and you have to become the thing or the person before you actually obtain what that thing has. And so if you want to be a bodybuilder, well, what does a bodybuilder do? A bodybuilder goes and lifts weights, probably more than the average person. Not probably, definitely more than the average person. So when people say that I want to get paid to speak, I want to be a professional speaker. Well, what does a speaker do? Definitely more than anybody, they speak in front of people that pay. It's like that's, and so when you have that realization, you have to walk backwards from it. How do I get in front of people that pay in context? And that's important too, because if it's not in the right context, then the content doesn't matter. And I'll give you an example. So if you are with if you're with your children and you have dessert with them, the right context is, well, you have dessert usually, traditionally, after you eat your meal already. If you're just having dessert all alone and that's all people see, then you just give your kids dessert. It's like, no, you didn't see what happened before, and you don't see what happens on a regular basis. So with context, as a speaker, if you see somebody speaking, you just see the dessert. Oh, look at Stan and Odell. They're just eating dessert. It's sweet. But we had to go through the main meal and the main meal and all the ingredients and all that stuff. So you can't start at the dessert. When you're meeting with people that pay speakers, you first have to make sure that they're ingratiated and they're inviting you in. And so that's the one thing I wanted to get across to everybody that wants to get paid to speak. You have to meet people that pay speakers. And I think that's the ultimate. Before you get into what should my one sheet look like, I tell a lot of my students, ask them. Ask the people that pay. Because I could show you what mine looks like, but you're not me. And to be frank, you're not me. And I don't mean that in a derogatory manner at all, but my stuff is simple. All my stuff is simple. You might want it to be a little, jazzier to meet your personality. So you're not me. So ask them what works. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to just jump us off with, let everybody know.
That's great. Listen, I want to throw this at you. This is and I'm saying this on wax. It's a great quote, and I'd love to steal it. I tried to the other day. Honestly, I tried to steal it, change one word. But I'm like, no, this is definitely Odell's, and it's people accept free, but they don't respect free.
Yes.
Now that is honestly, this
say
is
it again. Somebody might have just tuned in. Say it again.
They might just tune in. People accept free, but they don't respect free. I'm going to jump in the past just for a moment. One of my gravest mistakes, I believe, in some ways, is good morning, down all I do. One of my gravest mistakes, and I don't know how you think about this, is not charging more when we started and when the pandemic kicked off, just as a coach, I was very
Mm.
much in the our people need us. We want to help. We need to help. We're there. We're the big bro. We really need to guide them. And then we gave them so much free game that they're like, you know what? Now I'm gonna pay somebody else. Anyway, I was interviewing myself as we talk about that often the other day, and I was like, I think one of my greatest, regrets when the pandemic happened and I really, we got more active and more intentional was doing so much for free.
Yeah.
Doing so much for free. I hope that makes sense. Does that resonate with you all?
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you what, that resonates with me. And this goes back to, how do you become a paid speaker? How do you become professional? Professionals get paid. And so free should be a strategy. It should always lead to something. And for those listening, for those watching, I tell everybody this: if you want the information, you can find it. You can find it anywhere. You can search. You can look. You can draft. What I call event drafting or speaker drafting. In race cars or trucks, you kind of draft. You get behind them so that the wind doesn't hit you as hard or whatnot. You can event draft so you can find out what event did Stan speak at, or what event did Odell speak at, or what does this speaker speak at, and you can try to do all that yourself. It's going to take an immense amount of time. So you pay to get the information organized, and that's one level. And what we were doing is we were organizing we were getting everything together in a nice little package. I think it was every Wednesday. We were doing it every Wednesday morning for like 3-4 hours. And we were just telling people, this is what your speech should be. This is how your speech should start. Like, this is all of this stuff. And what happened, like you said, is that just people don't respect it. They appreciate it, but they don't respect it. And that's in every aspect of life. And so now, as we're being more intentional, this is something that I found, and people, they'll say, should I join this? Should I meet y'all in Atlanta? Should I come? All this stuff. And we talked about this. Yes, I believe we're the best that you're gonna meet as far as teaching people how to speak. But the information that we give is the same as anybody else. Anybody else is going to tell you. What'd you say?
We present it better, but yes, it is absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same information. I mean, you want to go speak, speak in front of people, go to conferences, send emails, go to LinkedIn. Like, all that stuff is pretty much the same. The difference is we position you and we place you properly in front of people that can hand you a check. Nobody else does that. And you can go to any conference that you want to. It's easy to get lost, specifically if you don't have a personality like Stan does. If you have a personality like me and you're not as good as me, oh my gosh, you'll get lost. The only reason I don't get lost at conferences is because I'm usually speaking at them.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that you won't say is that people seek Odell out. That's again, these are small things. People's like, get in the room. Yeah, yes. But someone like Odell, who's a little bit more of an introvert to himself at a conference, people seek him out. Why? Because of his expertise and what he's made, what he's done, what he's accomplished. So if you're going someplace and people aren't going to seek you out, you're not a sought after person, and you're not speaking at the event, well, then you have to begin to ask yourself, why am I here? Being the intentionality of showing up. And last, to your point about, at least this is probably one of, I don't even know if it's a hang up, but the difference between a professional speaker and a speaker, or a professional speaker and a motivational speaker, because I think anybody can call themselves I believe everybody wants to be a motivational speaker. Everyone. Like that person who's mean, horrible, you will see them post a motivational meme once a month, all that stuff. The difference is the paid part. Whenever in any other industry, or I use sports as an example, if you're a hooper, so this, like, oh man, he used to get a check. Like, you could even if someone's retired, they used to play overseas, they played in the NBA, they used to get a check. Otherwise, you wouldn't even consider yourself a pro unless you were paid heavily from it, not on accident, not one time, but regularly paid. And that's a huge difference, because something also that I believe part of our, unique selling proposition, if you will, is making sure people are ready once they do get on stage. Because imagine there's an expectation when you're speaking in front of people who can pay you or who just paid you. I never heard from them. I don't know what happened. Well, so that's what's really important, to make sure that you're, again, the being introduced to someone in proper context is a game changer. There are folks who've gotten booked just by knowing Odell or knowing myself or hearing the word NAMCA before. Like, oh, you're connected with them? Oh, sure.
And I think that's a part that we've undersold. And I want to make sure that those of you watching and listening that you come to Atlanta. I think, and Stan, I don't know, I think we might have 1 or 2 more spots left.
Yes,
if you want to speak in Atlanta. But you should be in the room anyway, because in that room, we're creating an environment where people get to meet where they are in the proper context. We're going to go there. We're going to open up and say, this is why we're here. This is why we're here. Don't make any bones about it. You all came from wherever you live and work. We're here because we want to match you with speakers that you could possibly hire, and that you're going to see speak, that you want to get to know. You want to fast track those relationships, but also we want you to learn some stuff. The professionals that are going to be there, and we're going to have professionals from corporate America. We've got a director of training at a large bank. Not going to say what bank it is. Come to Atlanta, you'll find out. We've got a director of diversity, equity, inclusion from a huge healthcare company who I actually have my healthcare with. And we have at least, I'm not looking at it, but we have at least 13 higher ed professionals. So people that hire and influence the hiring of speakers at their place. And so that it's extremely important that you come, because it's going to be an intimate environment, and all the questions that you have, you can literally ask them in 2 days. So Stan, a big question that speakers often have is, do I need a website to get booked? Do you need a website to get booked? Do you need one? No. But to your point, you were talking about the Hooper, you should probably have one.
Probably it's one thing, like at some point you're gonna get one, at some point, because I believe in making it easy for people to pay you, especially depending on the demographic that you represent.
Oh, you gonna say that? You gonna say that?
I'll say this: I have colleagues that have never written a book that don't have a problem getting booked and paid to speak ever. I've been asked on first calls, how many books have you written? Right. Just to be qualified to speak. Okay. Now, maybe this is definitely for another conversation, but I just want to keep that in mind, because sometimes people are getting advice from places that aren't in proper context. Like I'm seeing people go, yeah, just, your fee is $7,000. Just start at colleges. Just go ahead and pitch 7,000. Like, 7 where? And you're just starting. Where? Who are you? Are you a former astronaut? Did you win, like, you have a Purple Heart? Were you POW? Where we lost to, like, if that is not you, then I'll just say it's more of an uphill battle to not have the proper things in place to charge. So that's what I think, where we come in contact, like, oh yeah, just do this. Like, yeah, maybe that worked for you, but there are different ways to approach, which is really, really important. And this coming from myself, I worked in higher education. I booked speakers. I booked talent. I heard conversations that I would not have heard if I were the talent. You know what I'm saying? Which is a neat perspective, to come from. So it's going all the way back to the website thing. Yeah, maybe not at first. Or here's the deal. Let's say you're like, nah, I don't want a website. I'm just anti-website. Well, then your LinkedIn better be the Rolls Royce of LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I want to add something really quick as it relates to that. We live, not you, like not you watching, all of us.
Yeah.
We live in a high-tech, low-trust society. We have so much technology, so many, like AI can make you look 10 years younger in alien form. Like it's so many different things out here. So if you want a company, an organization to invest thousands of dollars in you, you have to prove yourself. Here's where we stand head and shoulders above any other speaker coaching program, any other association. Because sometimes when you meet people, they see you, they feel your energy, they want to give you a chance. And they say, ooh, you know what? You don't have a website yet, but your LinkedIn is popping. I can pull some strings with my supervisor, or I can approve anything up to this level because I love your story, because I like what you're doing. I'm going to give you a shot. And that's something that most people don't talk enough about, because I got that shot. I got my first multi-$1,000 speaking engagement, 2008, Student Government Association, Baton Rouge Community College. First of all the students were about my age, so that helped me out. But they saw me. I had a book. I had a janky website, but it was up. It was about a 5 for 2008 standards. You know what I mean? But it was up, and they gave me a shot. They said, look, can you speak all day? Sure, I'll speak all day. They gave me $3,200, and they flew me and Sierra down to Louisiana. I got a shot. So then in that shot, I get some pictures, I get some testimonies, I get some things. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Just like at the beginning, I said you have to do the things that the professionals do. So I don't have a website. I don't have all this. That's why you should pay us, because you don't get that anywhere else outside of you just grinding and trying and knocking on doors and calling people and sending emails. So just fast track yourself. Meet us in Atlanta, October 20th. We start at 9 a.m. We go to 4 p.m. every day, and you should come.
Yeah, man. Last couple of things. This guy, I think I told you about kind of becoming a mentor, said, Stan, why do you like they talk about no pain, no gain. There shouldn't be pain when you're working out. Like people take pride in doing things the hard way just so they could say it was hard. There's a way to do it that's not difficult. This is that way. The most difficult part in all of this is believing in yourself enough to take the steps. That's it. Like the most difficult part about making this move is belief in your ability. That's it.
Belief in consistency. Yeah.
Belief in consistency. Odell's the most consistent, but he's the hardest working man in the speaking business. No, the smartest working man. Let me backtrack. The smartest working man in this, so much so that I'm sharpening my game because I want us to stay friends. Listen, either you become it or it becomes you. You got to understand that. Birds of a feather flock together. Otherwise, they begin flocking elsewhere. You either grow together or you grow apart. So if you value relationships, it's best to grow with them. Heck, if you value this, what you're listening to, what you're watching right now, you should probably grow with it. In terms of the giving a shot piece, it's you said that, I'm like, man, yeah, I'm like, my first ever paid came from someone giving me that relationship in proper context, the introduction. We have clients, we have members of NAMCA who got booked without a website. Matter of fact, this Friday, someone who she's amazing, is doing a corporate training for a venture capital firm on Friday on neurodivergence.
Whatever that is.
Whatever. That's why I got to go to it. I got to. I saw the slides, but now I got to see it in action. Got to see it in action. Anyway, man, I know you're cooking today. Got some things going on. final thoughts before we get out of here. Hey, truth speaking, goats.
Yeah, man. Listen, first of all, I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm the smartest working. I do too much. I know that. But I will say that one of the things, if I want you to come to Atlanta, we want you to come to Atlanta. But if you don't, do more of the right stuff. I think that it goes without saying. If you want to lose weight and build muscle, eat less, move more, eat more of the right stuff, move more. That's about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there are nuances in there, but just move more. If you weren't walking before, start walking. If you weren't lifting before, start lifting. It's pretty simple. If you want to get paid to speak, ask people that hire speakers to pay you to speak. Just ask more of those people and then get feedback from them. It's going to take you a long time, though. And here's the thing about time, and I'll kind of throw it back to Stan to close it out on this. You don't know how much time you have, for one. You also don't know how long you're going to want to do this. There's something called the law of diminishing intent. As time goes on, desire loses its value. So the longer you wait and the more you see us on here doing an event here and doing this webinar here and doing this training here and writing this book here, the more you see everybody around you start doing that, and the less you do it, the less you'll want to do it. And then you'll just shrink back and fall back into a quiet depression and not know why. It's because you failed to fulfill your assignment. It's going to plague you for the rest of your life.
Oh, that's it. That's it. I'd rather you, man, that's it. This is the last thing you want keeping yourself up, keeping you up at night, is the fact that you failed to pursue something that you knew was meant for you. You don't want that keeping you up. Listen, there are no two better individuals. There are no individuals better than helping navigate you through paid speaking, increasing your income, because all of these are actions that help you increase your income, which is what you absolutely have to do. You must do that. As we get out of here, I want to remind you all, we're living right now. It's like, the taxes are here, the cost of living, everything is rising, and your pay is staying the same.
Student loan payments coming back.
Listen, if you don't got yours saved, listen, and nobody else putting on a cape. My point is, now's the time for you to take care of you. There's no better time than right now. That being said, remember 24/7, 365, 1/4 days a year that you're good, you're great, you're worth it. And effort on fire beats knowledge on ice. So don't worry about being perfect. Just make some progress. This is Stan Pearson and Odell Bizzell, the seconds. You heard it here first, y'all. Peace.